Yeah, it's June, start of summer school. It's always a really fun time of year to get guys back on campus, to get some of the new guys here. We obviously don't have a full group yet. We've got a couple of the European guys still going through the process and everything that's going on with that at this time. Z is here, but Z did not work out today. He's going through the final steps of getting admitted to school here at Illinois. But it's good to have that group out there and a workout in. It's exciting to start my job of fitting the pieces of the puzzle together and just seeing the group as a collective group and what that looks like. Do have one injury report. Ty Rogers got hurt last week in a pickup game at home. Will be out indefinitely. We'll have to have some surgery to do some repairs, and we'll know more as that process goes on. But he's right now still in Michigan and going through some of that. So it's been a busy spring. It's been a very productive spring. I'm very excited about this group. We were very specific in trying to get older. I thought we had two young men in the portal that I think we hit home runs with. We were very specific in terms of Andre Stojakovic, in terms of finding a big wing, a proven wing, guy that's averaged 18 a game, done it at this level. And then obviously Z, potential, 7'2" size shooter, fits exactly into our mold and gives us a nice front court with Ben, those two, and Merkovich, and Jason Jackstis in that mix and that rotation. So big, size, athletic, and all have the ability to pass, catch, and shoot. So obviously it's nice to have a group of returners back, which we didn't have last year. Feel great about that. That was very evident today in the leadership on the court, led by Colin Boswell, Ben, Tommy, all of those guys, Jake, all of those guys are very, very impactful, not just on the court and in the weight room, but off the court as well. As new guys have adjustments to make. So excited, still trying to complete a schedule that we think will be one of the toughest we've ever played, one of the most demanding we've ever played. Very, very excited to have a return back to Chicago, to the United Center, in a game that we set a couple years ago with Alabama, and look forward to that. And then, as always, we want to make sure we take care of our fans the best way we can with home and home series, and with Texas Tech, Elite Eight team, a team that is got a lot back, a team that's very good and doing the right things for our fans here in Champaign is something that's very important. So we're still finalizing a couple of dates and finalizing a couple contracts with opponents that we have, but you can expect a very tough and demanding non-conference schedule again to go with the 20 games in conference play. So excited, looking forward to the summer. It's a very, very busy rest of the month for myself, and excited about the prospects for Will and KJ. We'll head to the draft next week. Hopefully we're only there a day. That means they're first round draft picks, and hearing a lot of really positive things from teams and about their workouts. Right now KJ's has been invited to the green room. Looking forward to that opportunity, and hearing great things about Will at this point. So As always, the draft is a little uncertain, as you know, there's a lot of trade rumors going around, and trades can affect what teams do. So, you know, then I'll head to Belgrade right after that and do a clinic in Serbia that I'm very excited about, one of the bigger clinics in Europe, and you know, it'll take us right into up until the 4th of July, or July anyway. So busy rest of the month, an exciting rest of the month, and looking forward to these guys' growth and development and work, especially with Fletch and on the court here.
Any more details you can share about Ty's injury, lower body, upper body?
It's an injury that will require some time away, and you know, it's a knee, so it's lower body, and he'll have to have surgery.
What's that mean for the rest of your team, Brad? What do you need from whether it's the younger guys, Jake, Isaac?
Yeah, I think that, you know, you continually, you know, Ty's a voice that has even last year, his redshirt year, was very dominant. You know, that will be back on and with us. You know, just we'll see what the process, where it takes us. You know, very excited about you know, this group of freshmen. We've obviously got one that we haven't announced that you know, is out there, and then you know, Brandon and Keaton. You know, we'll have great opportunities. So, unfortunately, injuries are part of it.
I think you've got maybe one more roster spot to work with. Does Ty's injury change your thinking on filling that?
We'll see. Not just going to fill it to fill it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what's out there. We've never stopped, truthfully, not looking, but we're not going to be reckless in terms of what we do. We're just going to make sure that it's the right fit if there's one.
So even before Ty, you guys are maybe still looking to fill one more spot potentially?
We were good with where we were at, but if there was always, you know, the availability of the right piece, then you take that. But you know, and we're still in that same mode right now.
Brad, how do you feel on Jurkovic getting over here? I'm assuming he's in that group of still working through the process, but any like timeline or info on that?
Yeah, you know, there's a lot out there right now. You know, I think that we feel better about just the handling of our processes of getting him. There's a lot that goes into it with translation of transcripts and the eligibility center and so on and so forth. So we feel very, very good about those processes. You know, it's then, you know, get an I-20 issued, and then, you know, an appointment for a visa, and we'll still have to work through some of that, and we'll see where that goes, because at this point we truthfully don't know, but we're hopeful sooner than later.
Brad, what have you thought of the challenges now with visas from the students recruiting? Like, what are the challenges, and what are you worried about just dealing with those processes?
Yeah, you know, everybody's doing stuff different. You know, I've talked to a school that, you know, they brought guys over on a tourist visa. I don't know why some of them would want to do that. It just gets them on campus and in the country. We've heard reports of guys being deported for different reasons. I don't think it's changed my status at this point very much. Knowing where we are recruiting guys from in terms of the European countries, you know, that I think we have positive relations with, and they haven't been on any ban list yet. So I think we feel really good about what that looks like. But at this point, it would just be, you know, my opinion, and that's no good. We'll deal with stuff as it develops.
Do you feel optimistic about getting everybody here?
I do. I don't know. You know, I feel like they're, you know, we're in a good place, and it's, again, just step by step, and all these things take time, and we'll deal with it accordingly.
Have you gotten to see Z and Tommy even in practice play together a little bit?
Not yet. Obviously, you know, there's stuff that we can and can't do. Today was you know, it was the first day of summer, so it's the first day we've been able to do anything. And then Z's just going through the final admissions process now with getting final transcripts, and being a second-year kid, we had to get all of his international stuff as well and get it all translated. So, all that stuff takes time, and now we've received all that, so we'll be in the hopefully here very soon, midweek. We hope to have him back.
When they are out there together, what are you looking for to see what works about those two playing on in the same lineup, and
Yeah.
how are you going to evaluate that?
Yeah, I think that one, there's a lot of history of those two playing together, which is very encouraging. I think there's obviously they're twins, so there's great chemistry and great connectivity. I think that Tommy's in a great spot. He's just under 260 pounds now. He was here all May. He's had a great spring with Fletch. I think Fletch was as pleased with him as he could be. And then you've got Z, who's 230, and needs strength and needs to continue to grow in that area of the game, and he'll do that. He's going to work really, really hard. But look forward to both of them on the court. They're both they're different in terms of the way they play, but they're both high IQ. And it'll just be getting Z more up to speed, and then I would at this point in time I would expect them to be on the court a decent amount together, and very excited about that because I think they complement each other very well.
Now, addition to the coaching staff, can you tell us about Cameron and what he adds to?
Yeah, very excited about Cam and what he brings, and then we obviously made us. When TA left, and we moved a guy over, and Quay Jones, who did an excellent job last year, and Cam's a West Coast guy, went to Penn, was captain of the team there, and spent some time in the Northeast in the prep school ranks. Very, very smart, very astute mind, especially on the defensive side. He'll handle a lot of things on the defensive side. We've made some staff adjustments in terms of moving some people around, and then Zach Hamer. Zach does a phenomenal job with us, kind of move into a new position for us in terms of helping streamline all of our off-season workouts, our individual workouts, coordinating a lot with Fletch on those things. But really excited about what Cam can bring, not only recruiting-wise, but especially on the court. Some different ideas. He's a very, very good defensive mind, and excited about some of the things that he can bring. A great communicator. Excited to bring he and his wife to our community and our family.
What do you want to add to your defense with its coverage scheme?
Yeah, we've been good. We haven't been great. Maybe some of that is, I go back to Terrence. We were a top 10 defense, and we lost Terrence for those 6 games, and we slid. Some of it's maybe personnel based, but I think that we obviously would like to find a way to create a few more turnovers. We've been so good offensively, and yet we get no easy baskets. I think if we could continue to grow in that area, we haven't been very handsy. We haven't been in the passing lanes very much since early on in my career. I think knowing that we have size and rim protection, knowing that a guy like Andre Stojakovic is even though he's an 18-point-a-game scorer, is an elite athlete. Got great feet. Mirkovic is a tremendous defender. Gives us physicality. So I think we'd ultimately like to block a few more shots. We'd obviously like to, and that's another thing Andre does. He's one of the top shot blockers for wings out there. So I think we'd like to, in a perfect world, force a few more turnovers, get a few more easy baskets, and yet not give up. Especially on the glass, some of the stuff we've been doing on the rebounding side.
How you want to recruit internationally? Have you got clarification on in the rev share how to get these kids paid?
Yeah, I mean it's a continual process. So I think it's obviously there's a lot of work going into that at the NCAA level, at the institution level. There's some unclarity, some parts that aren't clear about you know, what that'll look like. But you know, we're just right now proceeding as normal until we get clarification otherwise.
Would you call your new assistant coach a defensive coordinator, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term?
Yeah, and I think that they're, you know, Tyler's handled the offense and Cam will help handle the defense, and we put, you know, Patrick Biddle into a role that will help Tyler and JC. John Keller was a GA. We kind of slid him into a video role. It's going to help Cam, and then Zach's also going to help in a lot of specialty areas, a lot of specifics, handle a lot of the analytic piece to both, and communicate with me directly on both sides of it. A little more than maybe just being focused on the defensive side as he was a year ago.
You'll have a lot of guys new to playing with each other, but do you anticipate or hope there could be less growing pains because you are so much older?
Yeah, and I think we got a lot of guys back. I'm excited about that. I think if you look in the big scheme of things nationally, I think, you know, having as many guys back is what we do. Is we're probably up there. You know, you're not going to see us in any portal rankings because we only have 2, and that's a great thing. You can give me guys in retention all day long, and I'll take them. You know, you just see it out there day one, and I mean, you know, we were just laughing about Tommy a year ago compared to Tommy today. It's night and day, and so yeah, there's always going to be some balance of newness and chemistry, and but it's nice to have guys that know what we do instead of having to teach a whole group of guys what we do.
I'm curious, when you started recruiting the Serbian country, did you think last year that it would be what it's turned into, or did you feel that grow over the course of the year and then early on into this offseason?
A little bit of both. We felt very comfortable with guys from over there, with European players and the coaching in the background. You know, in all honesty, I mean, a year ago at this time, I would have thought Z would be a pro. And that's where he was projected and what that looked like. Z fell into our lap, so to speak, and obviously his relationship with Orlando, and then having the year Tommy had helped us. We recruited Merck all year. You know, that was a guy that was a priority for us. Beyond that, it's just kind of developed into. You know, and then Andre's been in the States, and so it's just kind of fallen into place a little bit. But we've been very dialed into that part of the world and Europe for a long time. So glad it's happened.
Are you still working on getting that jumpsuit for the first game? We saw that on the Big Ten Network.
Sure, why not? Question is, do I go with a Marlboro or a Camel? No, I'll have to ask them. I have no idea, but no, I've got the hat. Now I've got to get that jumpsuit, and I'm sure one of the fellows will give me a gold chain.
Brad, Andre, there's shades of what Marcus did offensively, there's shades of what Will did offensively. Like, how do you see him just kind of fitting into your offense? What does he add to your offense?
You know, he's an elite athlete. He's gifted athletically. He's what I call a very, very good head rammer. He's a terrific finisher. Dunk with either hand, finishes 12 feet and in, maybe as well as anybody that we've had. Got great strength. I think once he has some time with Fletch, that'll continue to grow. I think he's an underrated shooter. You know, obviously the comparisons to his dad aren't fair. His dad's one of the great shooters in the history of the game. But I think he's had to take a lot of hard shots. I think he's a really good shooter. I think he'll be a you know, high 30s, you know, low 40s type guy. But I think what he does is versatility, to live in the paint and have the ability to finish at the mid-range makes him pretty special. And and then his athleticism. He's just right hand, left hand, very, very gifted, very skilled that way.
What's
Are
an
you already
off-season?
seeing a new Kai Boswell? Because I go back to Milwaukee when you lost, and he sat in the locker room. So you saw stuff last year that he let go because he was new too, and that can't happen anymore.
Yeah, I think that newness and youth were stuff that he, as a veteran, knows what it should look like, and I think that as good as last year was, it was also very challenging, and not just for the sicknesses and the injuries and the mono, but just our youth, the youthful mistakes, the understanding the moment and what that moment was, whatever it was. We didn't handle those situations great, whether it was a side out of bounds play, whether it was a defensive stop, whatever that possession or that moment was, we were sometimes just not quite ready for that. And I think those are the things that he's talking about, that he understands, but we just didn't perform maybe the way we wanted to in those moments. And I think he's well adept at making sure we handle those this year, and that experience will help.
What are some off-season priorities for Tommy, and what do you think the next step for him is?
Yeah, strength. We've obviously got to. I think that we've accomplished that already. His leg strength is through the roof. He's bouncier. He's stronger. We've got to be able to handle, switching much better. Being able to take advantage of him in post-ups and effectiveness. He was a really good post player in Europe, and he, to be honest, didn't have a great year doing that, no matter who was guarding him. So I think that's one of the big things we've worked on. He's been working on a hook shot a lot that he used to shoot. We never saw him shoot it last year. He's a very good, not jump hook, but just hook shooter. So he's been working on that, and then I think just being able to add a bounce or two to his ball handling repertoire will help as well.
It's back to Ty. Just how is he maybe dealing with the setback? I mean, especially coming off a red shirt and maybe looking to get back.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt it's tough for him. You redshirt, you put in a lot of work, and when you're an ultimate competitor like him, there's gonna be some challenges in front of him. But he's been in good spirits and handling it the best he can, and we'll get him back here. It'll be as soon as we can, get him under our medical care and get him part of readjusting with this group, and but I'm sure it's pretty challenging when you have something that is sets you back.
Brad, when you're building a roster, how do you, if at all, prioritize what your team's max offensive potential can be versus max defensive potential? Is there anything you consider there?
Well, I think we always look at offense to start and figure that we're going to get him to guard. I think that the potential, the size, the shooting, those are things that are very, very hard for coaches to teach. I think that we made great strides defensively. I look at Will, and I look at his improvement on that side of the court. I thought, Casper's had a great year. And I thought that Ben's growth throughout the year was tremendous on that side. So I think there's some things schematically we can do to help this group, and that's our job. And I thought we did some things very, very well. But we're always going to recruit to a certain a pattern of positional size, looking for shooting, looking for guys downhill, looking for bigs that can spread the floor, and that's something that we look at probably a little more than the defensive side of things, and know that we hope our scheme is good enough to be really good there.
Brad, when I talked to Andre around the committee, he said that multiple times he wanted to prove people wrong on the defensive side, just based on how everybody knows he'll be able to score. Is that something you instilled in him, or is that something you feel like from a grit standpoint that he can bring and permeate around your team?
Yeah, I think it's something that he's I think the one thing he's got a great understanding. I think when you want to be a next level guy, I think the easiest thing to do is understand that you can get there defensively. You know, I think you look at TJ and understand that, you know, TJ became an elite defender, and that helps keep him in that league. And you know, multiple guys aren't going to shoot the basketball at the NBA. There's going to be a couple guys shoot the basketball a lot. Usually as a rookie, you're not. Dre's got all the tools. He's got all the abilities. He's got great quickness and great feet. And I think his plan moving forward is to continue to enhance that. And I think he can be an outstanding defender. I think he'll be as good a defender as there is in our program. And I say that, and we've got Colin Boswell, I think, is pretty doggone good.
Is recruiting change because of the additions to the roster, 15-man roster? Does it change your approach at all?
No, I think that you can have too many. I think that you can, I think that we're still growing with what the new rev share stuff looks like and how you do that. I think the impact that, you know, the freshmen, you're not going to go out and sign and give a ton of money to 4 freshmen, more than likely. You know, we look, and I mean, it's got to find some developmental pieces, and guys will work and stay a part of your program. I think retention is something that gets, in our case anyway, is a big shift in terms of the focus and making sure we retain guys. So there's a lot of factors go into that. So not just having a couple additional roster spots. Not that big a deal.
But as you talk to NBA teams, what do you think they've learned about KJ overall through this process?
Yeah, I think they're, you know, I think both of those guys are really young, and I think that is very exciting to everybody. I think they've laid witness to how competitive both of them are. It's you know, at a very, very high level. I think that, you know, in Kaspar's case, I think that, you know, they've all bought into the fact that he can do both, play on and off the ball. We played it primarily on it. You know, that, and I think the fact that he can make every pass has proven very well in ball screens and his IQ. Teams have seen that. I think he's shown that he's a better shooter than what maybe, you know, he's was perceived to be in college. And then I think, you know, everybody's found out with Will that a little bit of what we've seen, you know, just as he physically continues to grow, his skill and his shot making ability will give him a long and pretty productive career in the NBA because of his ability to score. And so I think they've both had great workouts. We've heard a lot of positives, and you know, I think in KJ's case, you know, physically he's ready and that he could fill in or step into a roster right now and be a productive player. I think everybody's seen that, but they're both great people. I'm very proud that they've represented our program in a great way because they're terrific young men, and very excited for them on next Wednesday, I guess. So,
The thought of having one of your guys in the green room, what do you think that means for Illinois basketball?
sure, yeah, there's no doubt. It's a source of achievement, and you know, we don't set out to have one and dones and do all that, but to have guys elevated. I think the style of play, I think the status of this program, put guys in those situations, you know, can be impactful for future recruits that want to come and know they're in a style that fits, and their development and everything else is going to happen at a very, very high level. So obviously something that we haven't had happen here, but now we're not going to have one, but more than likely 2 one and dones.
Scheduling wise, can you say whether you're trying to pursue another power opponent?
Yes. more than one.
What do
Trent,
you
just to
found?
clarify, when you talk about Mark, has he not been able to get his visa application before the pause was put in?
We're not even to that. We have not been to that point yet. It hasn't been hadn't gotten to a visa. It's just all a matter of now stuff with the university. Before they have to get an I-20 issued before they can go get their visa, and we're getting closer to that. But it's the internal process that needs to happen first before we can do that.
Is this kind of the model of non-conference you want moving forward? Obviously, have the power of conferences, but one home, a couple neutrals, one away.
Yeah, I would prefer to play as many hard games as we can. I think the model's proven that they sure don't hurt you. You're only going to get hurt when you play too many bye games or lose one. I think the players want to play in those games. I think it's important to play in front of our home crowd as much as we can. I love doing that. So we'll always continue to try to find home series with high level opponents. But in place of the MTs are getting harder and harder to do. We'll see what continues to happen with league scheduling, and we get a compressed schedule, a compressed calendar the next 2 or 3 years. So I think maybe you could even see an after Christmas game in conference as we move forward. I think there's just going to be some challenges with a compressed schedule, but yeah, I think that there's tremendous benefits in playing great opponents, and we're doing them in some great venues, and we're going to continue to pursue that path.
I guess with the portal, with international recruiting, have you shifted your approach at all to high school recruiting? I mean, just in terms of what you're looking for, a number?
Yeah, I think some. I think we've always tried to stay pretty consistent with high school kids, and I think the greater challenge with high school kids today is retention. What do you bring back, and then what does that look like? And you start bringing a lot of players back. High school kids, for the most part, think that they're one and done, or you're going to have to invest X amount of dollars or whatever, and that gets to be a little more challenging. And so I think we're very involved with high school kids. We haven't changed our approach to that, but retention is something that here at Illinois we're focusing very hard on, making sure that the guys we have get better, continue to work, and that we keep them. We just feel that we can keep adding the right pieces, whether they be a high school kid or a portal kid, but retention's something we're really focusing on.
What do you feel like is key to fostering that retention?
Just development, relationships. I think that's honesty, the truth. I think those have all been things that have been really positive for us before, and then it's obviously going to go into a different time frame now with RevShare and see how all that plays. We won't see some of this, the crazy numbers maybe that we've seen in the past, but I think all that will play into it. But retention, there's nothing better than having guys that have been in your system and guys that are back.
What do you think is the impact of RevShare on college basketball moving forward?
We'll see. I think the game's never been better. I think this year it's scary how good the game's going to be. I think you had viewership up last year's NCAA tournament, I think 8%. I think that we play a game on Thanksgiving Day in front of over 5 million viewers. I think that NIL has allowed some players to stay that maybe would have gone to the NBA draft. I think that's great for college basketball. I think there's just tremendous interest, and so I think basketball's in the best shape it's been in a long time. I think it will continue to get better. I think RevShare adds to that, and I think it will just give us some guidelines and some guardrails as we move forward in terms of the structure of all that.
Like a year ago at this time when you didn't have your roster set, I think as well, I don't think it committed. I mean, just this year, was it just a matter of the process was quicker for everybody, or did you feel like you had things set up here that you were able to kind of expedite?
Retention helped. We obviously weren't going out to get the numbers that we had, but There were a lot of factors in this year. We had the a hard date was told to us early, with the court case, and so I think that moved things along at a pace that was pretty quick early. I think we had a shrunken portal window, which I'm in favor of. I thought was great. But I think also in our case, retention was not knowing we needed 10 or 11 guys like we did a year ago helped alleviate that uncertainty that we had a year ago at this time, as we were still searching. I mean, you think we didn't have Will, and we just gotten KJ right about this time. So a little different stress level from one year to the next.
Thanks, Coach.